In today's video, we're going to be taking a look back at some of my best investment picks that I made going back to the start of 2022 and seeing how they did. But before we jump into it, as always, we do weekly giveaways. All you have to do to enter is leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We post pre-recorded content for you to do so each and every week. And lastly, if you want to be a part of the community in any way, links are all down in the description below. I highly recommend you join our Discord to stay up to date on all things PokemartUSA and also join the community of like-minded individuals. Now, jumping into the topic. So I'm excited for this one. We're going to make this a two-part video. So the first one is going to be the top 5 cherry-picked items that did extremely well for my investment picks, and then the next video is going to be the top 5 worst items. Thankfully, from the list of worst items, you still made money, but it wasn't a lot if you look at the worst 5. But we're going to be looking at that on Monday. Today, we're going to be looking at some of the juicy hits that we got, and I'm excited. So the time frame for these, I'm going to make sure that the videos that I posted these for were starting at the beginning of 2022. All the way to, I want to say back at the end of summer of 2022. So I won't be discussing anything along the lines of, Celebration Ultra Premium collections, just because the opportunity for that item in terms of opportunity cost hasn't really accrued there. If there is an item that did come out, like one of the ones on the list most recently, and it has done well, then we'll discuss it. But there's always going to be outliers in terms of overall performance. And then one other piece as well, I'll have one booster box on here, and it's not going to be Evolving Skies because I felt like that was a shoo-in when I said people should be picking it up at 105. I mean, maybe you can say back then it wasn't, but I feel like even then the sentiment in terms of the demand for the set, it just felt like too much of an easy gimme. So I'm going to try and make it as much ancillary product as I can other than this one booster box. But starting it off, who would have guessed it? The Crown Zenith Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box. Yes, I hyped the crap out of this item. I said it was like one of my 3 favorite items, and I wouldn't shut up about it. I broke down the statistics as why I felt like it was an extremely good pickup. But if you had gotten in at that $65 price point, and now we're looking at what it's relatively selling for, it's in that $130. So congratulations, you would have made a 100% return in about 2 months, I want to say. So absolutely insane, super stoked. That's probably one of my best kind of throw-ins, honestly, like in terms of investments. I have some other good ones that I made, like the Celebrations Pokemon Center exclusive, which is why I felt very confident this one was going to do well, because the Pokemon Center one for the Celebrations has almost 2x'd at this point. But I'll tell you what, I wasn't expecting it to 100% this fast. I was expecting it to 100% at one point, kind of like the Celebrations has, but the Celebrations, it took like 6 months to do, and this is done in 2 months. So we're in a speedy market. So stoked about this pickup. Another one I am extremely excited about. Ooh, Arceus V figure collection. You guys who have been a part of the channel for a while, remember when I talked about this? I was beating my drum. I always talked about it. I said the Galar Pals. You go back, you look at the Galar Pals. It was the #1 performing item of 2021. It went from $25 all the way up to $100+. This item came out in May, so it hasn't surpassed that year. Do I think it's going to hit that $100 mark by May? Probably not. However, you still have, if you had invested in it in May, till now, you've almost made yourself a 100% return. You can get it for as low as $20 some places. The MSRP was $25, but we're now sitting on $40. So if you got in at that $20 price point, which a lot of places were selling it for when it first came out, you 2 extra money. If you didn't, that's okay. You still walked away with 70-80% returns on this item. So super duper stoked. This one, I felt like for myself, what's there not to love? It's got Cosmic Eclipse, it's got Brilliant Star, it's got Chilling Rain, it's got an awesome figure of Arceus. I just loved this product. So I'm so glad it's doing so well. And then on top of this, to kind of throw this part in too, we obviously were doing promos for the Charizard, the special delivery Charizard. And so one of the biggest pieces of advice I gave people was go buy a code online, use the $25 towards the Arceus V figure collection to get that free shipping, and it was basically just free tendies. You were getting an Arceus V figure collection that had a really good opportunity of getting a good return, and then you were going on eBay spending $5 to $10 on a Charizard code that refreshed every week, and then that value was $40 for the card itself. So you made $30 off of that, which then more or less paid for the Arceus V figure collection. And so you made money and also had your card paid for after you sold your Charizard. So it was just like, it was a dream in terms of opportunity. And so I'm glad to see that, now it's starting to make money, baby. But next item up, so not Brilliant Star, not Evolving Skies. And I want to make that purposeful because that was a shoo-in, but one people had a lot of speculation about that ended up doing well was the Silver Tempest booster box. I told people to get in when it was around $90 to $95. I saw this as an amazing opportunity. I said to people, hey guys, I feel like this is one that is going to do extremely well long term. Obviously, under the circumstances, it's performed extremely well, but I guess we can aid that in my favor, but I still want to approach this with caution because the supply of this item is much lower and we haven't seen reprints, so there's a reason why this performed well, but I still digress with that. It has done us favorably. You're talking about going from, if you did get it on the low end, for $90 shipped, what's that, about a $50 return is what I want to say. So you're looking at well over a 50 to 60% return, which is absolutely awesome. I don't think there was a booster box outside of Evolving that's actually performed that well, honestly. Lost Origin did well. Obviously, it's worth more, but when Lost Origin came out, I don't know if there was many places that were selling it for $90 to $95. I saw mainly around the $100 price point, but Silver Tempest is still one of the best performing booster boxes that we saw going into 2022 at the kind of middle to back end while everything else was rising. This one was extremely cheap, and I said, hey guys, Chilling Reign is like at $110. And sure, do I think Chilling Reign could go to 130 plus? Yeah, I do think it could because it's a good set. But I'd much rather take my opportunity getting into a Silver Tempest at 90 to 95 because the risk to reward is just so good there. And it so far has been paying off. So I'm really excited to see that. Next item up, Lost Thunder Booster Box. So I'm going to say also a special mention is going to be the Lost Thunder Build and Battle, or maybe I should do it this other way around. Lost Thunder Build and Battle, special mention the booster box, but because I want to keep it on theme with ancillary other than the one booster box. For those of you guys that don't remember, there was a large resupply, not a reprint, resupply of Fates Collide and Lost Thunder pre-release kits. We watched the price of the Lost Thunder Build and Battles go from $80 all the way down to $30. I was super high on it saying, hey guys, we've seen the price value of this item be at that $80. It is now at $30. It is dropped drastically. Do I think it's going to eventually hit 80? Yeah, of course. But do I have a crystal ball and know when? No, but I guarantee you that this is probably the bottom because we've been sitting at around $30 per build and battle box for the past 3 to 4 months, which makes me feel confident saying this is the bottom for an item that we just watched drop 70%, and we know how it's performed over time, especially once again being a Lugia set, which historically performs really well. If you got in at that overall price point of $30, we can see that it's roughly selling for around the $49 price point. Do the math on that. You're walking away with roughly around a 60% return. You can check me on my math with that. I'm just doing a rough kind of estimate. If it went up $15, that'd be a 50%. So that, 60% should be the rough estimate. So once again, an absolute stellar return if you were able to pick it up at around that $30 to $31. And the booster box also did really well itself too. Prices for it when we first discussed it were going for around the high 200s to low 300s. So we'll just even it out, say $300. This one is recent sale, I think was $415, but some listings are selling it for $450. I also checked other sources. It seems to be selling for that that 420-ish price point, but you know, we'll just use that conservative instead of 450. That's still a 40% return, which is a really good return for this booster box. Obviously, if it were at that 450 price point, then we're starting to hit over that 50% return mark. But, you know, this is an item that's kind of scarce, so I'll wait for it to happen until it's hit that price point. But obviously, the build and battle box performed better than the booster box. So that's that's kind of fascinating to see. Does it really surprise me? Honestly, a little bit, yeah. I mean, I felt like it was going to do good, but you kind of figured that the booster box would outperform a build and battle. But hey, it's a lot, you know, lesser of a price. So maybe that's why, because the volume it would need for this item to really go up is not a ton. So, but yeah, so that's 4 plus the booster box, which is an honorable mention. I don't count that as 5. Here's the 5th one. I'm excited once again about this 5th one. So, Celebrations Collector Chest. This one, a lot of people had questions about because Elite Trainer Box felt like an easy pickup. Celebration Ultra Premium Collection felt like an easy pickup. And people were, really? Celebration Collector's Chest? Now, there were some people that were on the kind of train with me, and they were believers in the Celebration Collector's Chests. But I had a lot of people that were like, I feel like the UPC is better. I feel like the Elite Trainer Box might be better. And the reason why I like this product is because if you look at the value of what you got inside, it was absolutely insane. You got 8 packs, and traditionally these collector's chests, you only get 5. So the value that you got out of this item was absolutely insane. You got the 2 standard additional packs and the 6 packs of celebrations on top of some really cool promos. I just felt like it was a unique item that if we looked at historically, collector's chests for specialty sets, you can go back and check looking at Shining Legends, they've actually performed really well on par with Elite Trainer Boxes and sometimes even better. Well, you go check out the prices for the Celebrations Elite Trainer Boxes right now, and you look at the price for the Collector's Chests. Collector's Chests on a percentage basis has actually slightly outperformed the Elite Trainer Boxes. So I'm really stoked about that. If we're saying you were able to pick it up at that MSRP price point, yeah, and for the most part, this was a product that was readily available in stores, readily available online. Even on TCG Player, it was selling for as low as, I think, $28, which is slightly above MSRP. So the opportunity for this item to get it at a good price was quite easy compared to the rest of the items, which were, for the majority part, well overinflated when looking at celebration items. So this was one I felt like was a sleeper item. I felt like a lot of people weren't having a conversation about, and it's performed extremely well, which obviously I am super duper excited about. So, but those are my 5 items that I took a look back on and said, hey, how did I do? How were some of the performances of some of the items I picked? If you had picked up on them, how did we all do collectively as a group? So super excited to see we had some awesome opportunities. There was honestly some more items that I had picked as well that I wanted to discuss, but it was only around the 30 to 40% return, which is wild to say, because in my mind, I'm like 30 to 40% return over a year. Oh, that's gross. We're getting at least 50 to 70% plus returns. What are we talking about here on this channel? So I wanted to just make it a quick little top 5, just to kind of give you the best of the best. But next week's video, or on Wednesday, or sorry, next Monday's video or Wednesday, it's going to be my worst 5 picks. So it'll be fun to do a deep dive on that, because I want to really, kind of shed some light on some of the items that I picked and kind of break down why they didn't perform good, what I got right, what I got wrong, and just kind of dissect it so we can go forward in the future and make natural adjustments so that we can turn any of these, quote unquote losing items, which, is like an item that only yielded a 10 to 30% return, and turn them more into winning items. So I'll be excited for that video. But as far as today's video, that is all. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure if you want to enter into our weekly giveaways, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And lastly, if you want to be a part of the community anyway, we've got a ton of links down in the description below. And I highly recommend you join our Discord. That's where most of our announcements are, and a ton of like-minded individuals that are part of the awesome Pokemon community that I hope you'll join us and be a part of. But until then, I will see you all on Monday. Peace.